इंसाफ सेहत प्रोग्राम पहले केपीके में पीटीआई हुकूमत ने 2013 में मुतारिफ करवाया। आले शरीफ ने केपीके में कामयाब इंसाफ सेहत प्रोग्राम प्रोग्राम की नकल की। मजीद कहा कि नून लीग ने सिर्फ 10 से 12 इदला में 3.25 लाख मालियत के प्रोग्राम शुरू किया।
नून लीग के कायदीन और राना सनाउल्लाह साहब की तरह के नून लीग के जो चमचे खर्चे हैं, उनके पेटों पे मरोड़ उठे हुए हैं कि पीटीआई केपीके के बाद पंजाब के अंदर गरीब आवाम की बेहतरी के लिए इतना कामयाब प्रोग्राम जारी और सारी क्यों रखे हुए हैं। आप तो वो लोग हैं कि जिन्होंने चौधरी परवेज लाई साहब के दौर के खरबों रुपए की मालियत के बीसियों प्रोजेक्ट्स थे कि जो 2008 से लेकर 2018 तक आपने जो है वो बंद कर दिए। हालांकि वो प्रोजेक्ट 50% 70% कंप्लीट हो चुके थे, जिसमें पंजाब असेंबली की बिल्डिंग इटसेल्फ शामिल है। तो आपके मुंह से इस किस्म के एतराजात और गिले और शिकवे जचते जारी रखें।
यहाँ पर आपको बराह रास्त ले चलते हैं जहाँ पर दफ्तर खारजा इस वक्त मीडिया ब्रीफिंग दे रही हैं।
Thank you, Aisha, and thank you, member of the press corps, for being here. Let me begin by welcoming you once again. The Secretary General is not new to Pakistan. He's been here several times as the Commissioner for Refugees, but has come for the first time as the Secretary General of the UN. So I welcome him. We've just had a very good meeting. I've had the pleasure of meeting him before, but I think of all the meetings that I've had with you, sir, this was the most interesting and rewarding meeting that I've had with you so far. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being here for the International Conference for Afghan Refugees. You have recognized the contribution Pakistan has made, and we do recognize the contribution of the UNHCR. Your personal efforts and your institutional efforts are acknowledged. We feel that collectively we have to agree on a roadmap of repatriation, which is time-bound, which is supported by the international community and is well resourced. We also understand that there will be a pull factor that will make that possible, and Pakistan has contributed to that pull factor by facilitating peace and reconciliation in Afghanistan. They will only return if there's peace there. After all, they left because they were not safe over there. And once there's peace over there, hopefully the environment would be there. In our discussions, it's a very challenging world today. Pakistan has always been supportive of the UN system. We have been a responsible member, I believe, of the UN system. We have excellent cooperation with them, and I have reiterated our support more than ever before because we understand how important multilateralism is and what an important role this institution can play for peace and stability. We are committed to the principles and objectives of the UN Charter, and we are also aware that there are elements that give preference to unilateralism over multilateralism, and one demonstration of that unilateral approach was seen on the 5th of August 2019. We've had a very frank and a very candid discussion on the Jammu and Kashmir situation. I have shared with the Secretary General Pakistan's point of view, Pakistan's concerns, and I've also highlighted to him what a challenging situation it has become post 5th of August. The illegal actions and unilateral actions taken by our eastern neighbor. I've also highlighted to him that how all shades of Kashmiri opinion, barring the BJP mindset, have rejected those actions. I've also pointed out the increasing ceasefire violations that have taken place post 5th of August, and that almost 200 days have gone by and the siege and the lockdown continues, and fundamental rights are being denied. I've thanked him for the statement made by his office on the 8th of August, reiterating the UN position on this internationally recognized dispute. I've also thanked him for permitting a briefing to the members of the Security Council by representatives of UNMOGIP and the political department of the Secretariat. He is the custodian of the UN Charter, and as custodian we have certain expectations, and I have pointed out 7 expectations of him. 1, that he should reaffirm the binding nature of the Security Council resolutions. 2, underscore the need to respect fundamental rights. 3, urge our neighbor to respect the 2003 ceasefire understanding between us. 4, consider Pakistan's proposal to strengthen UNMOGIP, which we feel has played a very important and continues to play a very important role. 5, ask the Commissioner of Human Rights, the UN Commissioner for Human Rights, to remain cognizant of human rights violations taking place over there, and to come out with the 3rd report. There was a report published in 2018, one in 2019, and now we feel the 3rd report should come out highlighting the current situation post 5th of August. I've also asked him that there should be freedom of movement for the UNMOGIP people to fulfill their mandate. There's no restriction on our side. There are difficulties on the other side, and he should look into it. We discussed the Afghan situation. We've discussed the efforts Pakistan has made to facilitate the peace process, and there's recognition for that, and they acknowledge. And today we are being seen as part of the solution. There was a time when Pakistan was seen as part of the problem, but the pendulum has swung, and today the international community is seeing Pakistan as part of the solution. I also shared with the Secretary General the initiatives of the government vis-a-vis socio-economic issues, and I discussed our strategy to achieve our targets, Sustainable Development Goal targets, our EHSAS program, our Sehat Sahulat program, and also in conclusion, we also had a unanimity of thought on the challenge climate change imposes on Pakistan and this region. It was an excellent meeting, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Honourable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be back in Pakistan, a country deeply committed to multilateralism and to the United Nations. This is my first visit as Secretary General of the United Nations, but as High Commissioner for Refugees, I had the opportunity, I was fortunate to be able to visit this country several times. And as I said this afternoon in the conference on sustainable development and climate change, what I've seen as generosity, as solidarity in the Afghan people has created a love affair between the Afghan people and myself. And I'd like to thank the government of Pakistan and Prime Minister Imran Khan personally for inviting me, as well as Foreign Minister Qureshi for his strong support of the United Nations. I have a full agenda, but there is a common thread to all my events and meetings here. It is simply this: to recognize Pakistan's outstanding generosity and solidarity over many decades, and to highlight its place in confronting some of the biggest global challenges our world faces today. I strongly believe it is time for the world to step back and look at Pakistan through a wider frame. One of the main purposes of my visit is to spotlight the real Pakistan with all its possibilities and potential. It is deeply rooted in Pakistani culture, from the vision of Muhammad Ali Jinnah to the philosophy of Allama Iqbal, to the music of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, from the courageous example of Malala Yousafzai to the giving spirit of Abdur Sattar Edhi, to the visual artistry and advocacy of Sharmeen Obaid Shinoy. And of course, on better days, we also see it from the bats of the Pakistan cricket team, both the men's and the women's teams, I might add. Here in Pakistan, we see solidarity in action. Pakistan is today the world's second largest host of refugees, and for decades it was the first. I look forward to taking part tomorrow in a conference marking Pakistan's 4 decades of support for Afghan refugees. For 40 years, despite Pakistan's own challenges, Pakistan has sheltered and protected Afghan refugees with limited support from the international community. I can testify to this. Having served as High Commissioner for Refugees, I always found in Pakistan a reliable and generous partner. One can only imagine how much worse the plight of Afghans would be and how much more unstable the region might be without Pakistan's stellar example of hospitality and compassion. The United Nations will continue to support Pakistan, and I call on other countries to support Pakistan and indeed show similar leadership in sharing this responsibility in this region and around the world. As we look to the issues of peace and security, the United Nations is profoundly grateful for the dedication and commitment of Pakistan's peacekeepers. Pakistan has consistently been one of the world's top contributors to UN peacekeeping, with more than 4,000 men and increasingly women serving today in 9 missions around the globe. I also appreciate the government's strong support for the Action for Peacekeeping initiative and its commitment to continue to improve the effectiveness of our operations. Foreign Minister Qureshi and I discussed regional security in South Asia. With respect to Jammu and Kashmir, I am grateful for the work of the United Nations Military Observer Group in India and Pakistan. UMOGIP will continue to monitor the ceasefire at the line of control in accordance to its mandate. And today I was happy I could inaugurate the new premises of their headquarters. And I am deeply concerned about and taking steps to de-escalate, both militarily and verbally, while reiterating my offer to exercise my good offices should both sides ask. Diplomacy and dialogue remain the only tools that guarantee peace and stability, with solutions in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations and the resolutions of the Security Council. Simultaneously, when we see situations of discontent and unrest, it is of utmost importance to ensure full respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. Turning now to Afghanistan, I am following closely the important efforts to bring peace to the country. Achieving a comprehensive settlement to the conflict is essential for saving lives and advancing sustainable development. It is my hope that discussions will be productive in leading to a reduction in violence, especially violence that harms civilians. And reducing violence is critical to build confidence and support for a peace process that leads to a lasting political settlement and a permanent ceasefire. Such conditions would contribute to enabling the peaceful return of displaced persons and refugees to their homes. I want to reaffirm that the preferred durable solution for refugees has always been voluntary repatriation in safety and dignity to their country of origin. And this is also true for Afghan refugees. Through its support to the ongoing peace efforts and building the necessary regional consensus, Pakistan continues to play a crucial role in realizing this potentially historic opportunity for peace. And the United Nations remains committed to supporting an inclusive and Afghan-led peace process that upholds the human rights of all citizens and leads to a sustainable peace in Afghanistan. During my visit to Pakistan, I also look forward to visiting the newly opened Kartarpur corridor, connecting two key Sikh pilgrimage sites. This is a welcome symbol of interfaith harmony, a unique experiment in cross-border ties, showing Pakistan's commitment to peace. The climate crisis is another key challenge of common concern, and once again Pakistan is on the front lines as one of the most vulnerable countries on the planet. I welcome Pakistan's ambition to take concrete action with the 10 billion tree tsunami campaign and many other initiatives. For my part, I will continue pressing for action to limit global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees, which means to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. And it means more ambition by all, more ambition on mitigation, adaptation, resilience and finance. And major emitting countries and industrial sectors have a particular responsibility to lead the way. And it means a successful UN Climate Conference COP26 later this year in Glasgow, and I count on Pakistan's strong commitment to that. Finally, I would like to recognize Pakistan's commitment to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, the world's framework for eliminating poverty, achieving gender equality, protecting the environment, and building a fair globalization that works for all. Pakistan was in the global lead in integrating the Sustainable Development Goals into its own national development agenda. And this is yet another example of the commitment and vision that we need to see more of around the world. I look forward to the rest of my visit and engaging with the leadership and people of Pakistan, and the United Nations family is strongly committed to helping the country advance prosperity and peace for all. Thank you.
Indus TV, Isa Nafisa. May I request you to please introduce yourself and also please let us know who the question is directed to.
This is Isa Naqvi representing Indus News. Excellency, I'm here. My question is that I'll also, as Foreign Minister Qureshi has mentioned, I'll also refer to your statement of 8th of August last year, in which you reaffirmed United Nations' principled position on the Kashmir dispute. I wish to know what practical steps could you and your office take for the solution of this issue? And secondly, we are about 1.5 months into the year 2020, and there have been more than 287 ceasefire violations along the line of control. I wish to know what's stopping United Nations to ensure that its military observers are given a hassle-free and free access to the line of control as